to my channel. Please subscribe and like if you care to, and all that good stuff. This is the, what is this? This is Love the Book, Love the Movie tag by my new friend and subscriber,
Joey
at Game of Authors. And unlike Brian at Bookish, these are not in any particular order except for number 1. I'll get that out of the way because I want to promote it. James Joyce's short story and the film by John Huston with his daughter Angelica. I'm hitting up a few people to do a video on that for Christmas time. I thought it'd be apropos, and you can hashtag Doubledares 2019 as well. Brian and I did a read-along of that earlier in March. So James Joyce, number 1, but now I'm just going to go through these. No Country for Old Men came to mind immediately. I'm going to cheat a little here on this tag too. I'm going to mention a couple by the same authors. So I love the Coen brothers as well. And No Country for Old Men, if you didn't know, comes from Yeats, directly from the first line of his poem, Sailing to Byzantium. And I'm going to also include All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy, because I love that movie with Matt Damon and Penelope Cruz. Boy, I just love Penelope Cruz. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is up there for me. I saw that movie. My father took my brother and I, even before my sister was born, back in the day, probably, boy, like mid-70s. And I saw the movie first, but then I loved the book too, by Ronald Dahl. Let's see, 3:10 to Yuma and Get Shorty, both by Elmore Leonard. Just funny movies. I love westerns. Get Shorty wasn't a western, but you might remember that with John Travolta and Louis De Palma. Just a really good movie. I have 2 by Stanley Kubrick. 1, The Shining, Stephen King. Now, if you haven't read The Shining, it's different from the book, but that's one of my favorite Stephen King novels as well. Let's see, A Clockwork Orange, written by fellow Joycean Anthony Burgess, directed by Stanley Kubrick again. How about Naked Lunch? William S. Burroughs, directed by David Cronenberg. I love that movie. I really liked it. I thought he did a good job of doing almost the impossible, adapting Naked Lunch for the screen. And anyone who watches my channel knows I have a poster of Naked Lunch, the movie, as well as a couple posters of Clockwork Orange. Let's see, rounding it out, I have Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. I loved that book and loved the movie, and the sequel to those are, now I'm going to forget it, Streets of Laredo. And I met Larry McMurtry, luckily in Mesa, Arizona. He owned a bookstore there back in the late 80s. And last but not least, The Big Sleep. I love Bogart. I love film noir. I love Howard Hawks directed that. I love Raymond Chandler. What I did not know, I knew Faulkner was out in Hollywood and a screenwriter, and I knew that he wrote To Have and Have Not, the Ernest Hemingway story, but I didn't know he wrote The Big Sleep. Yeah, William Faulkner, so shout out there. So thanks again to
Joey.
Game of Authors, and thanks for the tag. I enjoyed doing it. It was really fun. So I will talk to you guys later. Ta-ta.